That was Mike Johnson making history by becoming the very first House Speaker to address British Parliament. And he talked about our shared history and friendship as we honor and celebrate America 250. He also talked about overcoming our challenges together, which was a real hat tip to the situation we find ourselves in with Greenland. Let's bring in national security and military analyst and international relations expert, Dr. Rebecca Grant. Dr. Grant, thank you so much for joining us. What are your takeaways and thoughts when it comes to this speech that we all just listened to together?
Oh, first, I absolutely loved this speech. I was so proud to be an American listening to Speaker Johnson. He's a wonderful man, and I think he really set exactly the right tone. To me, the business takeaway came towards the end of the speech when he said, we have no intention of doing this alone, and that the U.S. needs Britain more than ever. He also was pretty clear in making some wonderful statements about free speech, quoting George Washington on indispensable morality and religion in government. But he was clearly there to firmly shake hands with the British people and to chart a way forward together, you know, specifically mentioning NATO, mentioning AUKUS and the submarine cooperation, and saying, hey, we're going to do this together. It was really Speaker Johnson at his best. He's so good in those moments here in the U.S., and now he's done it for us over there in the House of Parliament. Fantastic.
And he invoked Churchill 4 times. Anytime you're trying to appeal to the British people, you can never go over the number of times that you invoke Winston Churchill. But there were a couple of points that I think really stood out to me. And I'm going to sort of put this into a speech with 2 themes. One was this notion of calming the waters. But 2, Rebecca, Dr. Grant, was this notion of we need to remember what the foundation of both England is and then, by extension, the United States. And do you think that message will resonate with the British people, specifically with regard to British Parliament? Because as we have documented on this show and throughout the network, England is sort of having a crisis of its own with regard to open borders, a lack of a national identity that is definitely influencing its place on the world stage and its ability to be a proper ally to us. Your thoughts?
Oh, yes, Britain is at a moment of crisis. And Speaker Johnson was statesmanlike, but he was also strong. You know, he walked into a parliament that's got a 100-seat Labour majority. You know, wouldn't that be nice? And quoted Margaret Thatcher, Lady Thatcher, on the subject of freedom. And everything that he said, whether it was on what they call migration crime, the need for secure borders,